Hello, I'm FM and welcome to my channel. If you're brand new, thank you for checking out this video. Hopefully by the end of it, you'll be a subscriber. Like I always say in these videos, if you're already a subscriber checking out this video, I appreciate it. While you're all here, smash that like button. It really does help me out and I always appreciate it. Make sure if you're new that you subscribe, why not? And tap that notification bell. You'll never miss an episode. Now, in the spirit of the World Cup, I thought, let's make a World Cup video. But I didn't want to do a let's play or let me see if I can win the World Cup with England. I couldn't be bothered. Now, you might have already seen some of these videos that I've done in the past, race videos. I quite like these. I have a lot of fun doing them. And some people seem to enjoy them. I've done quite a few with non-league clubs and Eastern European clubs and so on. Check them out if you haven't already. They're quite fun. I try and get you to, or encourage you to take part by commenting down below with who you think's gonna win. So this is basically a race to see if I can make a smaller nation win a World Cup by just tweaking some things in the editor and seeing who can get there first. Now, I have got a winner, I won't lie. It took quite a few years, quite a few. You'll find out in a bit. Now, what I did to do this, obviously, I looked at each region without looking at Europe. I thought, let's forget Europe. It's where all the main countries are. Don't get me wrong, there's some smaller nations. Now, I've got another one of these coming out with some European nations soon. I won't spoil what that is. I'll let you find out. So Europe, forget Europe. I'm European, I'm British, I'm English. Forget that. I've picked 4 countries from 4 different regions. And there's a reason behind them. Basically, I looked on Wikipedia at teams that are very rarely qualified for World Cup. Some of these teams have only ever been to 1, maybe been to 2. And they've never got a chance of winning a World Cup. And there was a few options I could choose, but I just chose these. I've got no preference really, I just chose them. So we've got New Zealand representing Oceania. Middle East and Asia, we've got Israel. From Africa, we've got Angola. And from South America, we've got Bolivia. Now what I've done is I've made sure that football is a very important sport for each one of these countries. If you don't know, in the editor you can change that. Some countries take football more seriously than others. So each of these countries, football is now their #1 sport. I've upgraded their youth, so basically they should start creating, hopefully, fingers crossed, good regens. They've all got the same. Their main league in their country have also improved their training facilities, so hopefully if they do create some players, they can train them up to be good players. And now it's not about them players staying in that country, it's about them becoming good. So they can go wherever they want, as long as they play for one of these 4 teams and help them win a World Cup. So, before we get going, you know the countries. Now, they've all got the same starting platform, but some countries have got bigger populations than others, so some countries are going to have more of a chance, maybe, than others. Now, I will say the winner, I was surprised by. I was really surprised by it. I won't give anything else away. So write down in the comments, have a bit of fun with me. Put down who you think is going to win this World Cup, because in reality, none of them would they? One of them does. Little help with the editor, one of these teams wins it. Sometimes we get to World Cup and only one of these teams gets there. The next World Cup, another team gets there. Sometimes we get 2 teams there. And when the team wins it, they win it. It's quite cool to see, really. So we're going to share that. I'm going to show you what happens. So hopefully you're going to enjoy it and stick with it. So go on, write down below who wins. And let's see if you're right by the end of the episode. Let's get started. Here we are at the beginning of FM18. It's June 2017. This is the history of the World Cup. This is everyone who's won it in real life. Now, obviously there's some time to simulate, and when we get to Russia, it might not be exact, right? But it's also way too early for any of these teams, for the things I've done to take effect, really, for them to create some better players that can get in 2 World Cups, let alone win one. So when it comes to Russia, yeah, we're forgetting about Russia. We're also going to forget about the World Cup in 2022. Now, it gets moved on this one to Australia. And again, I think maybe it's just too early. 4 years, you start getting some good young players, but nobody makes it to the World Cup in 2022. We are going to jump to the World Cup in 2026, which is held in Canada. Welcome to 2026. Now, what I've done is, the World Cup hasn't actually been played yet. I've saved it at the start of every World Cup. And I'm going to make, when one of these teams makes it to a World Cup, I'm going to make them save files available for you. The database will also be available if you want to try it out, put it on Steam. But I'm going to make the save files available just in case you want to challenge, you want to try a team out at a World Cup and see if you can do it. Now, this is the first time one of these countries makes it to the World Cup. You might see up there, Spain won in Russia, Belgium won it in Australia. You can see Belgium winning it one day, they've got a good team at the minute. And this is the first one. So who made it to the World Cup this year? Well, only one team made it. It was Angola. Angola was the first team out of all four of them to use its new resources and get itself to a World Cup. And it was drawn in Group F with Colombia, Japan and Wales. So it had a great chance really, at least getting out of the groups. So let's have a quick look at its squad, the squad that got to the World Cup. And you can see the values are quite good, but they haven't got a full squad here yet. I think there's still some time to come through, but they have got a region up there called Diniz, I think. 23-year-old who plays for Monaco. To be fair, he looks pretty good. He's only a right back, but he's a world-class right back. And hopefully this is the start now. Hopefully the teams in Angola start creating good players that come through the national team and they get better and better. So did Angola do it? Were they the first team to get to the World Cup? Did they win it straight away and win the race? Did you guess right? Let's find out. Unfortunately, no, they didn't get out of the group stages. They beat Japan, they got to a good start, beat Japan 1-0, but then were beaten 2-1 by Colombia and spanked by Wales 3-0. Doesn't mean they don't win the race though. So on to the next World Cup, and it is 2030. It's held in Spain, and only one team made it again. It wasn't Angola this time. Israel and Bolivia still haven't made one. It was, in fact, New Zealand. So they're the second team to get to a World Cup, and the only team now with a chance of winning the race. Did they win? We'll find out in a minute. Good old New Zealand, by the way, one of my great mates in the community, Pekera. Check out his channel. I'll try and remember to put a link down below. He's from New Zealand, so if you want to, mate, or any of you guys, again, I'll put the save file down below and you can try and win the World Cup with New Zealand. But have they got the players to do it? Well, they're not the biggest squad, have they? They've got some okay players. They've got two players that play for Paris Saint-Germain, one from Dortmund, one from Roma, so maybe it's starting. It's taken a while, but they've got some good players. And this is their best player, is a striker, and what a striker. Tim Singh, I think that's how you say it. He's played for FC Bayern, scored a bucket load of goals, he's now at Paris Saint-Germain. And he is very, very good. Can he lead them? Or does he lead them to a World Cup? Unfortunately, no. But they did do one better than Angola this time around. They got out of the group without losing a game. Drew with Mexico, drew with Portugal, and then beat Japan 2-0. Went into the World Cup second round against a very good team, Belgium. And got beat 2-1, so they put up a good showing, to be fair, with quite a small squad. Could you do any better? Let me know if you try it out. So here we are now in 2034. Getting right into this now, aren't we? France won the last World Cup. Portugal won one as well. So there you go. They're the winners. But this is the World Cup. This is the World Cup where someone won it. One of the four teams wins the World Cup. And I love how they do it. I love how they do it. But there's also more than one team in this one. There's two teams. Of Bolivia finally made it. Of Angola made a return. Of Israel finally freaking made it. What about New Zealand? Are they back in the mix? Let's find out. Well, in fact, two teams made it. New Zealand came back for their second consecutive World Cup. And Israel made it. So Bolivia still haven't made it and never made it, unfortunately. So there's a challenge for you. Try and get Bolivia to a freaking World Cup, let alone win one. Angola made the first one and not made the last two. So just show you can give a country the highest youth rating. You can give all the teams in that nation great facilities. Doesn't mean they're going to become a great footballing country. So yeah, one of the winners is either Israel or New Zealand. Now, again, this save file will be down below for you to take over one of these teams and try and win it with them. Maybe try and copy the team that does eventually win it. Now, before we have a look at that, let's have a look at the teams. Now, let's start off with Israel, and they are now 9th in the world, so they're in the top 10. So they've definitely improved. Now, they haven't got any like 80 million pound players, have they? They just look like they've got a bit of depth. I mean, they've got a player at Seville, one at United, Stoke, Napoli, Leicester. Let's have a look at just the top two players. We'll have a look at Hanan Avitan. He's alright. This guy's at United, left back, who's pretty good. So they've got an okay squad. On to New Zealand, who are 68th. in the world and also in the same group in this World Cup. In Japan, by the way. And they've got some good players, but again, they've not got a lot of depth, and I wonder why. I mean, if you take over, let me know, can you select more players? Now, a lot of these players play for Auckland City. They've still got some good ones at the top. I think we looked at Sean Dunn last time. Again, he's a good player. Midfield centre, he's an absolute beast. Surely he's going to win him the World Cup. We've got a left winger at Paris Saint-Germain, so they've got some good players, but I mean, this is what I was surprised by. They've got good squads, but there's better teams out there, so when the team wins it, it's surprising, right? It is surprising. So again, if you haven't commented already, write down below, who's going to do it out of them two teams? Because you wouldn't think they would you? But one of them does. Is it Israel or is it New Zealand? Let's see if you're right. Well, there you go. It was, in fact, Israel. Israel are the winners of the World Cup in 2034 in Japan, and they beat Brazil 1-0 in the final with a goal from this guy, Almog. Let's have a look at Almog. He's alright. He plays for Stoke. He plays in the Premier League, and they beat Brazil. Brazil, who are the #1 team in the world. But it wasn't just that, it's the way Israel got there. They won the final the same way they freaking got to the final. And that was by being the master of the 1-0 win. Now, all I do is I get to the start, I get to the 1st of June, I save it, and then I holiday 4 years to the next one, to the 1st of June in 4 years. So I don't like go through the World Cup and watch how it's going bit by bit. I wait until 4 years after it's happened. And when I found out, obviously, that they won, I just thought, wow, that's crazy, man. Because it's the way they did it. Now you see, Group G, they beat New Zealand, the other team, in the race, 2-1. They then beat South Africa 4-0. Now they had Brazil in their own group, so it was a good start really. They drew with them 0-0 in the group. Now I'm assuming, obviously, Brazil and Israel then left the group, which is pretty cool. They then played Spain. Beat Spain 1-0, right? Then they play England. Great, England on here, always overpowered. Beat England 1-0. Then they get Belgium, a team that's won the freaking World Cup recently. Who's still got some great players. 1-0. And then get to the final and beat Brazil 1-0. So freaking fair play. If you guessed at the beginning, or you guessed halfway through, Israel won it, and fair play because I didn't have my money in Israel. I don't know, I thought it'd be like Bolivia because it's South America. Bolivia didn't even make one. You never know with stuff like this. It is a bit of fun, obviously. It's not reality, but I do enjoy doing it. So there we go, that's the end of the episode, and Israel were the winners of the race. Again, if you guessed it correctly, well done, you don't win anything. There will be another one of these out pretty soon, and it's basically going to be a whole nation race to the World Cup final. I haven't made it yet, so I don't know what's going to happen with it. England will not be taking part. I am English. England usually get to a World Cup, apart from 1994, and we're quite overpowered on this game. If you ever simulate into the future, you quite often see England win. Now, I don't want to. England staying as they are. It's going to be a race again with 4 countries: the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. I don't know what's going to happen yet. Obviously, I don't know how quick it's going to, how long it will take, if it will happen at all. But that will be the next World Cup race. Hopefully you'll join me for that. And thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button. If you're new, feel free to subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. You won't miss anything to do. Make sure you check out our other content. My current Let's Play series, which is based in America. Just have some fun with it. Hopefully you're enjoying the World Cup. Hopefully you're having a great day. I've been Booed. You've been great. I'll see you next time.